best thing after sliced bread and even pizza, or even the best thing after Mona Lisa at Old Trafford, talking about Erik ten Hag, has finally been dismissed, managing just 44 wins, 14 draws and 27 losses in 85 Premier League matches. And his last game was a 2-1 defeat against West Ham United at the London Stadium, leaving Manchester United languishing 14th in the Premier League table after 9 matches in the 2024-2025 season. A lot of Manchester United fans are haywire about this decision already, and they've been calling for, this is one thing they've been calling for over time now, and it's finally, the hammer has fallen on Erik ten Hag, with Ruud van Nistelrooy, former club striker and club legend at Manchester United, taking over as the interim coach of the Red Devils, at least for the meantime. Let's see what the new owners of the club will be able to come up with in the subsequent days. But then, it's the biggest news in the world of sports at this moment, but the biggest event is still coming up later today, and that is the Ballon d'Or ceremony, where the best player by France Football will be awarded by France Football eventually today. So it's a plethora of epoch-making events today, Monday, 28th day in the month of October, year 2024. And this is welcoming you to another edition of the show, Punch Sports Extra. My name is Abiodun Adewale. Olalekan Adetunji joins me as the irregular and the August visitor in October on the show this afternoon. It's good to have you, Lekon.
Thank you, Abiodun. Thank you, and good day to our viewers.
Of course. So with your authority, let's proceed and let's see how much of the authority you'll be able to exert on some of these controversial issues that are burning in the world of sport right now. First of all, Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. It's been this has been something that has been looming large. It is something that is long overdue to some sections of Manchester United fans. I mean, if you wait, maybe 70% of the fan base want him out of the job. Maybe just 20% want him to still be there. The other 10% are a little bit indifferent. But whatever it is now, do you think it's a win-win for the board, United, and even ten Hag himself?
If you look at it, I think towards the the end of last season, this was something that kept coming up. But I think the FA Cup win actually gave him that extra weeks, which lasted until weekend. So
until yesterday,
until yesterday, so to say. So I won't say we didn't see this coming.
Of course, we saw it.
After the win, he was like, well, if they sack me, I'm talking about last season, I will go somewhere else to win trophies. So they okay, let's see what he will do. But we all know that it was like, hey, man, this is your last chance. If you can do well, all right,
take advantage of,
but if you didn't do it, that's then. And it has not really been going well for the man and for Manchester United. And you keep wondering, is it Manchester United? Is it the coaches?
Sometimes you wonder if it's the players or him.
Exactly. Because Jose Mourinho came and every other coaches came and things. So, but I think, in conclusion, we saw this coming with Erik ten Hag. So I would say, well, a big congratulations to him, even though this is not something I want, but at least he was able to relax. So, go home, relax, go back to his drawing board, look at what happened before the relaunch.
Did he really live up to expectation? He came from Ajax Amsterdam as one of the top managers in the Dutch league then. He came from a very top club in the Dutch league. He was expected to bring in his machinery and armory from Ajax Amsterdam and turn things around at United. His first season may be excusable. He had his first full season, won the, in 2022-2023, he won the EFL Cup then. And last season too, he also won the FA Cup. And talk about other managers that have been before him. He personally compared himself to them too and said, Mourinho has done this for the club, I have done it too. Like he put himself on the same pedestal as many of the managers who had come after Sir Alex Ferguson and achieved something for the club. But do you think he overachieved or underachieved for the hype that came with his appointment 2.5 years ago?
Mourinho actually won a European trophy for Manchester
United. Yeah.
So we shouldn't forget that. So I wouldn't know, maybe we should put him on the same pedestal with. Well, I think for the hype, we'll say he underperformed. If you look at Ajax under him, Ajax was a terror to any team in Europe.
Yeah.
They lost narrowly to Tottenham on the way to the finals.
In the Champions League.
In the Champions League. So, with the hype and with everything that was given to him, money being spent, I want this player, I think except for De Jong, that he didn't really get, Barcelona were like, we're not going to release this guy for you. So, more like we gave you everything that you asked for. So what more
do you want to ask for?
Yeah, or what more do you need? So I think it didn't really live up to expectation. With everything that was at his disposal.
The players, and even some of his boys from Ajax, they were so much that he even had to offload a player like Donny van de Beek out of his plans totally. A player, one of his prime players at Ajax Amsterdam too. So no excuses for Erik ten Hag.
No. The first season, second season, you may say, okay. First season, you may say, all right, let's see what's going to happen.
But he needed to take the bull by the horn this particular campaign, and nothing has been forthcoming. Nothing has been forthcoming. You look at them in the Europa League on Thursday night, on Wednesday or Thursday night, they were in total shambles.
They won one against
the first, they won one against Fenerbahce. Yeah. And in the Premier League too, they've been totally uninspiring this season.
Especially yesterday's match, because I didn't watch the full match, but they were unlucky in the first half, losing the goal here and there and every other thing, which makes you think, is it, just like you said earlier, is it that this man has lost the dressing room? Because when the coach loses the dressing room, it's over. Yeah. Most of the time, blames go to the coaches, even though at times it's the players.
Everything comes back to his desk.
To the coach, to the coach or to the coaches. So maybe there's no, I don't know, maybe the relationship between him and the players are not cordial. Or maybe his tactics are not right. You can't compare Dutch League with the English Premier League. They are different.
But he had 2.5 years to adapt to life in the English Premier League. Well, from the way I see things, from a man that has been saying, and for a man that the board has been saying like 2-3 weeks ago that he has their full backing, and now, before the start of the season, Ruud van Nistelrooy was brought into the picture. That looks like a setup to me. He probably didn't read the room at about the time they brought in Ruud van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy might take over on an interim basis and become the head coach, the substantive head coach as time goes on.
Football is funny. I say football is funny because we saw this happen with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in as an interim coach. Man United was on fire. Haven't lost the first leg at the Champions League. Went to Paris, defeated PSG. He was given a permanent role, and trouble started. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Van Nistelrooy coming into the picture as a former player, as a legend of the game, is a good one if he's able to control it, if he's able to handle the boys and everything on a temporary basis or on as an interim coach. But the moment he's given a permanent role, we hope what happens to Solskjaer won't happen to him. We hope history won't repeat itself at the Old Trafford.
Well, so many things are happening at Old Trafford, and it seems all things are not passing away because just recently, Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down from his role at that ball, whatever role he has going with Manchester United. He stepped aside from that role, but that is just on paper because everything Sir Alex Ferguson did at that club in 13 years, no manager has been able to do that. And since 2013, when he last won the Premier League, they've never been close to the Premier League title again. And it's been that bad, except for Jose Mourinho winning a European title, then few domestic cups and 2 other ones added by Erik ten Hag before his sacking earlier today. Let's just hope that, like authority predicted, the doom will not come back after Ruud van Nistelrooy takes the M on interim basis, gets the club back in shape, then gets the permanent job, and this thing come back to haunt them again. So many things have to be done. We saw them play a game at Old Trafford last season. There was rainfall, everywhere was flooded, and all of that. So many things that they have to do, even off the field. But let's just hope that fans will begin to see the changes on the field after the sacking of Erik ten Hag. So let's move on from that biggest news of the day and go to the biggest event of the day, which is coming up later tonight, where football enthusiasts across the world will be gathering to award the best player in the world for the year 2024. And talk about that's one of the biggest prizes in football aside the FIFA Best Award, which is the France Football Ballon d'Or Award, where about 15 men have been ranked in terms of power play and everything they've brought onto the pitch in the last 10 months or thereabouts. And the attention is certainly on a particular club because it looks like half of the nominees are first-team players of Real Madrid. Let's just mention their name. And the player that everybody is saying will probably go home with the honor eventually today is also coming from Real Madrid. It's just like a handing over from one Madrid star to another Madrid star. So the Ballon d'Or later tonight, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time, and it looks like it's going to be another show where Vinicius Junior will eventually be crowned. A boy that came. Let's just not focus about him, but let's talk about some of the players that are prime, and let's not forget about our own man, Ademola Lookman, who is the only African among the nominees this time around. Last year, we celebrated Victor Osimhen, who was eventually ranked 8th among the nominees. But this time around, we have about 15 guys. Eventually, we'll be seeing a top 10 ranking later tonight and a winner. Authority, how do you see things panning out?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Lookman. Yes, now let's start from our own. Let's start from
home.
From home. So, it's a good thing. It's a good one. And that means his efforts last season and up until now, up until weekend. I think he also scored
until Saturday, 2 goals and 2
goals
assists.
And 2 assists. You know, man of the match. That means his efforts didn't go unnoticed.
Yeah,
which was fantastic. I think as it stands, the favorite is Vinicius Junior, just like you said. But let's not forget Jude Bellingham. When that guy came to Madrid last season, he was on fire. You know, in fact, at a point I was like, oh, they won't crown this guy the king of El Clasico. You know, scoring home and away in the El Clasico, scoring for both club and country. Unfortunately for the two of them, they didn't win anything with their country at the international
level.
Yes. Vinicius didn't win anything with
Brazil.
Jude Bellingham, a silver medalist
at the European Championship.
So, if we're to look at club and country, we may say Rodri.
So we'll be going to someone like Rodri, who was the powerhouse of Spain's midfield at the Euro campaign and also very crucial for Manchester City.
I know Manchester City, that was the 4th league in a row for them. So we may look at that. But you know, at times these people, the way they decide, just, you know, at times you ask yourself, even it's been questioned by former footballers, current footballers, and you know, what's tactics, what are the points or whatever?
Well, it's voting.
They may say it's voting,
regardless of how you want to see it.
Exactly. So, despite the fact that we have Vinicius as a favorite, let's not forget 2013 when all of us were tipping Ribery, Frank Ribery. And at the end of everything, the guy didn't even come second. He came third, behind Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
There was 2010 when Wesley
Sneijder, World Cup finalist, Champions League winner, Italia Serie A winner, Coppa Italia.
And there was 2018 when Luka Modric came out of nowhere
to win it. And when you look at the statistics, people say, this Lionel Messi had more goals and more assists than even Luka Modric and Cristiano Ronaldo combined and every other thing like that. So, yeah, as it stands, we'll say Vinicius. But like I said, you never can tell. Anything can happen. But from the look of things, Real Madrid surely
are going to dominate that podium tonight.
Exactly. Because we still have someone like Jude Bellingham,
we still have Dani Carvajal, and the new Madrid star, who has not really been living up to expectation, Kylian Mbappe, is also in the mix of one of the top guys who might be getting closer to the top prize later tonight.
I don't think Kylian Mbappe has a chance.
It still looks like 3rd or 4th best behind Vinicius, Jude Bellingham, even Rodri.
So we may end up seeing something that happened in 2010 with Barcelona, Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta. You remember that? When the first 3 came from Barcelona then.
Well, other notable nominees that you might want to keep your minds on later tonight include Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan and Argentina. And of course, we have the retired Toni Kroos, another Madrid star, who recently did something out of the blues, still played for Germany, even after saying he's going to retire. And of course, before eventually hanging his boot at Real Madrid. And we still also have players like Kylian Mbappe, although attention is not really prime on Kylian Mbappe now. Harry Kane is also there, the Golden Shoe, the European Golden Shoe winner, who joined Bayern Munich from Tottenham Hotspur and has been scoring goals for fun in the German Bundesliga.
I think now Harry Kane will want a club trophy, a trophy more than any personal award assistance.
Maybe this will be his season. We also have Phil Foden of Manchester City, Lamine Yamal, the young Barcelona sensation, who of course stunned everyone who showed everyone he had a right foot during the El Clasico on Saturday night as well. And there is Florian Wirtz, one of Bayern Munich's weapon of mass destruction to their unbeaten season in the German Bundesliga. Nico Williams of Atletico Bilbao is also there. Erling Braut Haaland, the goal machine in the English Premier League. And of course, we have Emiliano Martinez, Argentine goalkeeper, very crucial to their Copa America win. And Dani Olmo, another European Championship winner with Spain. So that's that about about the nominees for the Ballon d'Or. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see who comes top eventually when the award will be handed out tonight. And that takes us to the CAF Awards, which will be coming up by December 16th in Marrakesh, Morocco as well, where we have two Nigerians, Ademola Lookman and William Troost Ekong, as the two Nigerians who got into the 10-man nominees. But notably absent is another Nigerian, Victor Boniface, and of course, perhaps the best African to have played in the English Premier League, Mohamed Salah. Those two exclusions have fueled so many debates on social media and even on other social spaces. It was a great omission. Was it AFCON? If it was even AFCON, there were some players on that list who didn't even have one appearance at the 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast.
Just like we said earlier, that at times the way these things are done, raises eyebrows. There used to be questions and every other thing like that. Yeah, we are all surprised Boniface was removed from the
was not even nominated. He was not even nominated. He was not removed.
Okay. So we're all surprised because, of course, won the Rookie of the Year award with Germany, won 2 trophies. He was a Europa League finalist and every other thing like that. So, well, just like you said, at a point I also thought, was it because he didn't participate at AFCON, or was it because he hasn't actually scored any goal for Nigeria? But just like you said, I think I remember there's a player that switched to a particular country in Africa barely 4 months ago.
Brahim Diaz, he didn't get the nomination too.
Okay. At the time, there was this hype that
he didn't get the nomination.
So, just like we said, at times their criteria is something that you
wonder what was used.
Exactly. Is it club football? Is it individual award? Because at times it looks like because of the club that this person is playing.
Yeah.
Look at when everybody was saying Mikel deserved it simply because Nigeria won
AFCON in 2013.
And it's
Yaya Toure.
And they said people are like, oh, maybe because he was playing for Man City and every other thing like that. But some say no, it's individual award. So at times you question what exactly they use for this test.
For this prizes.
But only them can tell us this and the source that they are using. Only either CAF or FIFA. We are not there. We are not allowed to vote. We are being told to vote or any other thing like that now. We'll be able to say, okay, from our own point of view, this man deserves it, this man deserves it. So only those who are eligible to vote, to cast the vote, I think, club coaches and team coaches and captains.
And journalists.
And journalists. Oh, selected journalists.
Selected journalists too, yeah.
So they are the ones who are in the position to tell us what exactly. Maybe they have criteria listed before them that these are the things you should use to cast your vote. We don't know. But like I said earlier, these things raises questions at times.
All right, 10 nominees released already, and about 6 categories have also been released. We are still waiting for the women's list, which we also expect some Nigerians.
I think it's a good thing that we have two
guys, and already Lookman looks like the man of the year already. And like I said, we're still expecting the women's list.
Okay, sorry. And Ekong being the best player of the tournament.
At the African.
So probably first 3 guaranteed for Nigeria.
For Nigeria. So at least 2 podium finishes. Exactly. And of course, we will still be expecting something good to come out of the women's nominees as well. We have players, goalkeeper and outfield players who have been fantastic from different tournaments for the national team, even at their club level, except for a certain Malawian who plays for a club in the US, the NWSL, where Assistant to Shard and some other Nigerians also play. The girl has been on fire, and it looks like nobody is going to be able to stop her. But let's just keep our fingers crossed for the nominations first of all, before that. Away from bigger events around awards and prizes in the world of football, let's talk about tournaments now. And let's come back home to the WAFU B African Championships, where Nigeria's Flying Eagles, the under-20 team, have qualified for next year's Africa Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. And they will be playing Ghana, our arch rivals, in the final of the WAFU B tournament in 2 days' time. Just yesterday, in Togo, Nigeria beat Niger Republic 3-1 in the first semi-final of that competition, thanks to 2 goals from Eyimba striker Clinton Jefter and another late strike to cap a 3-1 win for coach Sani Zubeiru's side as they got their tickets to that competition. It was a tough road. It's been a very tough road for this under-20 team. They lost their first game in the tournament against Ivory Coast. They won their second game against Burkina Faso, I think. And of course, they still managed to top the group where there were just 3 of them, going on against Nigeria Republic in the second leg. Just like they did in their second group game against Burkina Faso, they conceded first. And they responded with 3 goals. I think so far so good. They are the cup holders of the WAFUB Championship, but they've done the most important job. Pick the tickets to the Under-20 AFCON, which will also serve as a qualifier to the Under-20 World Cup later next year. What do you make of these performances? Kind of spirited to me, if you ask me. They always go down by a goal, but they always find a way to come back.
Well, it's a good thing that they were able to pick themselves up, but at the same time, that means they need to work on the defense. You meet with a team that is later in the attack, you go down, you may not be able to come back.
That was what happened against Ivory Coast. They conceded and they just couldn't find a way against the Ivorians.
Things like that don't always happen. So I think the coach needs to look at the weakness of the team or the weakest point of the team and work on it. Number one, they've been able to come back, which is very good. That shows resilience, that shows passion, that shows that the fact that they were knocked down doesn't mean they can also come up. But at the same time, try to work on it. You will still meet with other teams that are more clinical, that are more dangerous. You'll still meet with other coaches that they will have. Some coaches won't sleep when they are to play or when their team is to play against you. They may need to watch all your clips, and once they spot that weakness, they exploit.
They exploit it, yeah.
And there are some teams that once they score first goal, second goal against you, just forget it. No matter what you try to do. So I think they need to work on that. Conceding first, coming from behind. Well, it's a good one for them.
There's still a lot of time, but one thing that I will also hammer is that they took about 3 or 4 weeks to prepare for this particular tournament in Togo. About a 3 weeks camp in Abuja where they had hundreds of players before they came with 25 players to Ikene where they had their final camping for about 2 weeks before departing for Togo. Ahead of next year's tournament, I would even say that these players should not go anywhere, just remain in camp, continue to prepare, continue to play friendly matches, adapt, let the team gel and all of that. And the bigger picture is to see them at the Under-20 World Cup, where we've always aspired to also get something done. That particular tournament is something Nigerians like to remember. There was the Saudi, the Dama miracle in the 90s. There was the Nigeria 1999 too, and of course, we remember what Messi did to us in 2005 in the Netherlands. So I think the Under-20 World Cup is something Nigerians are a bit inclined to, and they just want to see the country succeed there. They say age group football these days is about development and all of that, but then the fans still want something to cheer about. And still talking age group football, women's Under-17 team, the Flamingos, could not go as far as we thought in the ongoing FIFA Women's Under-17 World Cup. They lost out to the United States of America by 2-0 in their knockout game just a few days ago. And Coach Bankole Oluokere, who has been tutoring the side, this is like the second set of team that he will be taking to that championship, has said, well, not so disappointing. So we'll be expecting the girls, and this is one man that has been touted as one of the best coaches in terms of discovering grassroots talents. He's one man that has done it at the Under-15 level, coming straight to the Under-17. The last time out, they were bronze medalists at this championship 2 years ago. But unfortunately, this time around, they've come to the end of the road, and we'll be expecting them in the country any moment from now. And still talking women's football in Nigeria, the Super Falcons are still in town. They were nearby in Ikene on Saturday, where they faced Algeria, the women's national team of Algeria, in the first leg of the 2-legged international friendly, where they won 2-0 thanks to a brace from Captain Rasheedat Ajibade. The second leg of that game comes up tomorrow at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos, and their final training session ahead of that game will be held today at the same venue as well. But before we go on the show, let's quickly take a trip around the leagues in Europe. And we mentioned El Clasico, where we were talking about.
Never he beats the offside traps. He couldn't just convert the chances. That's number one. Number two, I think Real Madrid were ruthless in the first half. I think Real Madrid were ruthless in the first half. As even at a point that I was like, I thought Barcelona would.
And Barcelona were really calm.
Yes. They were able to soak in the pressure. They were able to contain themselves. But immediately they come in the second half, that goal from Lewandowski, you know. Then I think I love Hansi Flick's approach to the game, because in the sense that why Modric was swarming up on the sideline, I was like, hey, the best thing is for him to just bring in somebody, and he brought in De Jong. So I think the introduction of De Jong in that midfield, you know, one way or the other crippled Modric to an extent.
It's just like when you are solving equation in mathematics and you say, this one cancels this one.
Exactly.
That was what exactly what
if
happened.
De Jong had not been brought on at that moment, you know, when he was brought on, and Modric was able to take over that midfield from Barcelona, it would have been over for Barcelona. But it was a good one. Good one for Robert Lewandowski. 2 goals on the night. The first goal, fantastic. Look at where he placed the ball from. Second goal, when I watched the review of the second goal, I actually watched the match, you know, and the camera showed it from the top. I saw the way he moved, you know, the way he quickly placed himself. You know, at this age now, he can't just be running anyhow.
Well,
just position himself and every other thing. Fantastic goal. Then Yamal's right leg, fantastic.
Rafinha,
that was what ran everything off for Barcelona. I think it was a good one. And good one for Hansi Flick, good one for Barcelona. 5-1 against Sevilla, 4-1 against Bayern Munich, 4-0 against Real Madrid. That's 13 goals in 3 matches. I mean, for any team to get up to that, for any team to achieve that in 3 matches, that's to tell you, we may be back to the Barcelona of 2009 and 2011. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And so, if this should continue like this, and they work on their defense, we may see another ruthless Barcelona, both in Spain and in Europe.
Well, the eye line of Hansi Flick seems to be keeping Barcelona very high on the La Liga table, as they are 6 points above Real Madrid, with 30 points already after 11 games. Real Madrid, after 11 games too, only have 24 points. And it looks like, just after 11 games, it looks like Barcelona are running away already. And they've won the first leg of the El Clasico.
I think another thing was that Real Madrid was trying to set a record for the unbeaten games that night. They were supposed to set another record that particular night. And Barcelona was, no, you're going to hold on to the previous record.
That's just one thing about records. You know, sometimes when you are hoping that you will set it, you get jinxed. And I think that's just what happened with Real Madrid. Well, elsewhere in England, Mikel Arteta lined up with Arsenal against Liverpool, and a slot managing what I call in second real test in charge of Liverpool, and he came out with a point at least in that game. And twice Arsenal went up, twice Liverpool came back. Arsenal scored a third goal, which looked to me that nothing happened to that goal. But then officiating in the English Premier League yesterday especially was something that really called for questioning.
Well, if you look at it, I think before the ball crossed the line, the whistle had gone.
The whistle had gone?
Yeah, so the referee knew what he saw.
And Liverpool player had already switched off at that point, so that means they already had the whistle too.
Yeah, I think just like the second goal that Mbappe scored that was ruled out. If you notice, Barcelona's player first,
they had switched off.
They switched off. They didn't even follow him. But when they saw that, oh boy, this man is not doing anything,
they just had to start chasing.
So by the time he scored the goal, the linesman raised the flag. So I guess that was what happened. Because even the commentator said, the whistle had gone, this is not going to count and everything. But I think good goal from Saka. I love the way he switched, and then released the rocket. A good one for him, coming back from injury.
On a lighter note, he almost took Andrew Robertson's life yesterday. He turned him inside out, turned him outside in, did everything until Robo was brought out and replaced with a Greek player, Tsimikas.
I think it's a good one for Saka. Not every player comes from injury
and deliver that kind of performance during a big game.
Exactly. So it's a good one.
But you have to bite your nails for Arteta. He lost 2 players to injuries yesterday, and I think that was what Liverpool exploited. Jurriel Timber, who had kept Salah out of pace for the entire game before he was injured, and Gabriel, who was on the left side of the center too. He was taken out by injury, and that was it. Liverpool exploited his pace at those particular times, and they got their equalizers.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about football as well. When playing a match, you have to be careful so as not to lose focus. Yeah, I know that wasn't what Arsenal wanted, or that's not what anybody wanted. But that's also to tell you how tactical this Liverpool coach Slot
has
was,
been,
how tactical he is, noticed what he needed to do, and he took advantage of that. I think Nigeria, we also had something like that, but I don't want to take us back to 2014 when Onaze was injured by Blaise Matuidi.
During the World Cup.
During the World Cup.
In Brazil.
And Deschamps brought in, this is the man that has been, disrupting my plans. Brought in somebody, and that was the end of the game for us. So, I think, yeah, for Arsenal, I don't want to use the word bad luck, but that's not something they wanted. But for Slot, that was what he wanted. He would have prayed for something like, what do I do as a coach? What do I need to do? How do I break this defense? How do I?
He just found a way.
Some coaches won't take advantage of that. So I will still give it to him.
All right. Thank you very much, Olalekan Adetunji, for your time on the show this afternoon. And if you called down on the last strike on the show, you are definitely right. Join us next week for another interesting package of the show. Until then, I am Abiodun Adewale. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.